I said before, when I said yes to making this presentation, first thing I asked myself was, why me? I've never done anything like this before. But the second thing I asked myself was, what am I going to talk about? So I asked, okay, what is my favorite subject? I thought about that for 4 seconds, and I figured my favorite subject is me. So, me is one of the few topics that I can talk about with any level of authority at all. And I mean that, I truly mean that when I say that. So I'm going to tell a story of me, starting out deeply rooted in the Catholic Church and evolving to a life where I was unchurched. And I struggled with this evolution most of my adult life. I'm 61 years old, and it's only been 5 years ago that I came to terms with my being an ex-Catholic. So you will listen. Because there's going to be a test. No test. I need to say first that if I say something that you think is disrespectful, then I did not choose my words well. I have no disrespect for any institution or any person that I talk about today. The extreme opposite is true. So, 10 years ago, my wife Ann and I sold our house in Kentwood, where we raised our 2 children. The kids were going to college, and I hated the yard work that came with several oak trees on our small lot. Yeah, he knows. We didn't just rake leaves, we managed leaves. We bought a condo, we downsized. Now that we've downsized, we need to make the most of every square foot that we have. So one of our multi-purpose rooms is on the lower level. And it's a small room, but it serves as my office, and I work out of my home. It's our gym. We have about 3 large exercise machines down there. It's a food pantry closet. It's my reading room, which consists of a big, ugly, blue-green chair that I love. My wife hates it, and the chair's still there. And the room is subdivided by an accordion door to create a storage room. And in the storage room is the cat's bathroom. Another function of this room is my library, which consists of 1 bookcase. It's small, 2.5 by 6 feet, about 125 books. It is not a grand library, but these books mean a great deal to me. Some mean more than others, but they are all very important to me. I actually let my wife know that when I'm gone, when I'm dead, I'd like these books to go to someone who actually wants them. Don't just get rid of them. Give them to someone who shares my interest in aerospace. That's where my interest lies. Actually, I have some books here. And these books are by themselves, they have value to me. But there are remarks written in these books, and that just makes them that much more valuable. It's probably good that I don't have a lot of time to go over these, because I would be reading the I've got more books down here, actually. I've got no place to put them. I would be reading the inscriptions that I've written in them, and that would be really embarrassing. Again, these books by themselves have value. The inscriptions written by me and gift givers just give them that much more value. Like this book, which is a gift from my daughter. She's got a full-page set of remarks to me. They're wonderful words from a daughter to her dad. The value of this book to me is exploded because of these words from my daughter. I wouldn't take $1 million for this book. Of course, no one's ever offered me $1 million. I think if someone offered me $1 million, no. Okay, remember these books in my library. I'll get to them. I was born in Detroit in 1952. Grew up in one neighborhood near Tiger Stadium. I have a sister, she's 9 years older than me. I have a brother, he is 8 years older. My dad passed away about 35 years ago. My mom is almost 92. They, my brother, sister, mom, and dad, were all born on a tiny island in the Mediterranean known as Malta. If you're a history buff, you'd be interested in knowing the history of that island during World War II. Malta has the record of being the most intensely bombed piece of land in all of history, and that went right up until the first Gulf War. Like many countries in Europe, Malta and my mom and dad experienced the horrors of war to the extreme. And my mom would tell you that it was their Catholic faith that sustained them and got them through those terrible years. The population on Malta is 100% Roman Catholic. Catholicism, it's a way of life there. There is no separation of church and state. If you spend any time there like I have, you will see their religious culture everywhere you look. The buses are elaborately decorated with religious themes. You'll find beautiful churches, even in the most poorest of villages. The churches are beautiful. And the other thing I noticed or witnessed there was the display of emotion from the people as they celebrate their village patron saints during the summer festas or festivals. It's really incredible to see. I've never seen such devotion, religious devotion, in my life. And the intensity was just as strong from children, 5 and 6 years old. That was really incredible to see that. A word about my mom. She's lived here 60 plus years. She still has a strong Maltese accent. Not much education at all because of the war. She's never driven a car. She's never ridden a bike. And other than her family, the biggest part of her life is and always has been the Catholic Church. Understand, she's the best mom in the world. So, a few years after my family arrived with their Maltese culture here in Detroit, I joined them. Our home was decorated with mini religious shrines. We'd say the rosary as a family, and we would go to church. I attended Catholic schools, grades 1 through 8. I became fully immersed in the church at St. Vincent's, grades 1 through 4. Every day at school began with a Catholic Mass in the adjacent church. As a class, we prepared for the momentous rites of religious passage known as confession, First Communion, and confirmation. These were major events in a young Catholic boy's life. The Catholic ceremonies, the rituals, the celebrations, they dominated my childhood. The most remarkable part of my Catholicism was being an altar boy. And I was 8 when I joined the ranks at St. John Nepomucene, which is where I was baptized. It was just 1 block from our home. It was a parish church, no school with it, just the church. The priest that I served for, Father Joe, baptized me. When I first became an altar boy, I was in the 3rd grade at St. Vincent's. And at that church, you needed to be in 4th grade to be an altar boy. So I was the youngest altar boy around. Now, I wasn't just an altar boy. Mark, listening? I was a professional altar boy. What I mean is, we actually practiced religiously to be perfect. We drilled for precision. We were the Air Force Thunderbirds of the Air Force, of the altar boy world. Anyway, we were definitely the A team at St. Vincent's. We were smooth. But things didn't always go smoothly. One morning while serving a morning mass alone, I went to pick up the Missal, which is a large, heavy book sitting in a heavy stand. This thing together was bigger than me. So I'm probably 8 years old. And while performing this duty, I'm supposed to carry it from one side of the altar to the other. So I pick it up, start to go down the stairs, and I fell. Book goes flying. I wasn't hurt, but the priest and others from the congregation, they came to my aid. Father Joe smiled at me. He gave me a hug, and the Mass continued. I honestly don't know why, but this is a fond memory. Back in that day, the Catholic Mass was celebrated in Latin. Mark, where are you, Mark? Okay. It was celebrated in Latin. The priest would lead in Latin, and the altar boy would respond appropriately in Latin. So, I'm a professional altar boy, and I'm a linguist, specializing in an ancient Romantic language. Some altar boys I know, they couldn't master the Latin language. If you've ever experienced a Catholic Mass, you'll know that at certain points in the service, the altar boy would ring a small set of bells. Just shake the bells. It doesn't take much talent. But at St. John's, we had a large musical instrument similar to a xylophone. It was made up of big, heavy organ-type tubes, 5 of the tubes, various sizes, that we struck with a mallet. And in the proper sequence, at the right time, to create the appropriate tune. So now I'm a professional musician. This was all very special. And other events like weddings, funerals, the very solemn 3-hour Good Friday services, Easter, Christmas services, these all gave us altar boys more opportunities to really feel special, which is the only word I can think of. When I attended St. Casimir's School, grades 5 through 8, I often served morning masses at St. John's, and I had special permission to show up late for my morning classes at St. Casimir's School. I just walk in there like I'm VIP and felt special. Now remember, I was the youngest altar boy around. And at St. Vincent's in 3rd grade, believe it or not, we had a mock altar in the classroom. And we would have mock masses. Since I was the only altar boy, guess who got to be the priest? So we're wearing the vestments, the whole bit. I mean, I'm special. And wow, long time ago, and I'm still talking about these things. So the point of all this is, it's other than my 1 year as a Boy Scout, the most significant thing in my life was directly related to my status as a Catholic boy in an old world Catholic family. And that world changed dramatically in the early summer of 1966. The city of Detroit bought our street to finish off I-96 to the Ambassador Bridge. Our house was demolished. We moved to the northwest part of Detroit just about a year before the riots, which we would have been right in the middle of. St. John's, which was a block away, wound up on the service drive of 96. It was torn down. It died a slow death. It was torn down. Now, I'd never been back to that St. John's Church since I left that area. And I had dreams for quite a while of me banging on the doors of that church, trying to get in. This is serious, and no one let me in. And I wonder what Sigmund Freud would say about that.